Hi, I'm Tony Jones.
And this is the Reverend Russell with the Hardest Question video blog, and we are
The first Sunday after Christmas.
First Sunday after Christmas.
Year
That's
B,
right.
and first thing I want to ask you about this year B is, how's that year of Mark working out for you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know.
What does Mark chop liver?
Yeah, I think so. I think I don't know. Somehow he just gets under the lectionary's skin, or he doesn't play. He doesn't play right. You know.
Doesn't play by the rules,
Yeah.
kind of like the people in the Matthew parables.
Yeah. So they try and stay away from Mark as much as they can.
We're skipping Luke. We get back to Mark next week, but in
Yeah.
the meantime, here we are in Luke, and it's the Nunc Dimittis.
The Nunc Dimittis, right?
Now your servant may depart in peace, which is, very, very famous prayer that's prayed by many Christians every single day at their compline by their bedside before they go to bed. The last prayer of the day.
Wow, it kind of makes it feel like you're going to die in your sleep.
Basically, that's.
Yeah,
have you
yeah.
ever read that? I mean,
Yeah.
the compline setting in the Book of Common Prayer is very much like, if I die tonight,
Yeah.
take care of my family, and there are other people who are going to die tonight, take care of them. Well, here's what's interesting to me. This whole pericope, which is rather extended.
It is.
Good for the lectionaries for actually leaving a longer
Right.
passage in the lectionary, but I don't know how many people will, kind of have the whole thing read, but let's hope they do. So a few weeks ago, we were talking about how Debbie was basically saying this whole virgin, impregnated virgin is kind of, it's mythological in some sense, because,
Yes.
and it has to be even be big enough to kind of contain God's truth and beauty.
Right.
This is the passage that it seems a little more mythological, like they show up at the temple, This guy comes out, he's like, I've been waiting for this baby, and upon seeing Jesus, he magically knows that, and then he gives this pretty brutal prophecy to Mary, which of course isn't part of the prayer people say before bed.
No, I mean, to me, that's like, if I want to say, where's the hardest question in this? And for maybe the most interesting question is that part at the end there. This child is destined for the falling and the rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be opposed, so that the inner thoughts of many will be revealed, and a sword will pierce your own side, too, as a bonus.
Don't forget to read the footnotes. Yeah, I mean, here's one thing that trips me up a little bit is destined for the falling and rising of many in Israel.
Right.
Like, I wonder already then, even Luke, as he's writing this, does he not, why would he put in Israel there? Because isn't this child also destined for the rising and falling of many Gentiles?
Yeah.
Like, just the rising and falling of many, period? Why is it only in Israel is one hang-up I have, because maybe that was the only concern of, this old prophet who's hobbling around the temple at the time.
Or is it maybe back to, that conflict between the post-temple Judaism and Christianity, and, that's back in there.
Right.
But a sword will pierce your own soul too.
That's your hang-up, huh?
Yeah. Because it's
on the face of it, it's obvious.
Yeah, I think it is obvious. But I guess what I'm getting at here is, like, when you read, especially the beginning of Luke in the Gospel of Mark, it just seems like Mary is going to be such a bigger character than she turns out to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, that's like dun 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 foreshadowing.
Right.
Like, where's the rest of the plot of Mary? Well,
we get that, great image of her holding the dead body of Jesus in the Pietà.
What verse is that? I forget.
It's in there somewhere. It's got to be, because look, right. I mean, the foreshadowing.
Right. So
it's interesting. I mean, that is one of the most famous artistic images from Scripture is the Pietà, but of course it's not in Scripture.
Right. Yeah. So
of Mary holding, and it obviously harkens back to this. And
I think so.
I think many artists have tried to portray that.
And that this is the scriptural basis for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, she stands at the foot of the cross.
Right, absolutely.
and she
One
meets
could imagine.
she
Yeah.
meets Jesus on the way
Yeah.
to the crucifixion,
Right.
on the road.
But I just feel like this is I want to keep up with her plot. And so this is like another one of those instances where you could easily see that the narrative of the women has been somehow maybe damped down.
Yeah, and you can also see that, at least in the Catholic tradition, the hagiography around Mary
Yeah.
has really blossomed.
Right.
You know, so it's there. It is out there that the extra biblical stories of what she did during these days and after
Right.
are, you know, pluriform.
Because maybe it's everybody wants to know what happened. You know?
Yeah.
That this sort
Right.
of, yeah, there's something.
Like, yeah.
Where's the rest of her story? I think you should preach Mary.
Yeah, sure, why
Yeah.
not?
And the sword.
All right, that's the hardest question for this week, year B, first Sunday after Christmas.